This is my video for 6520. The compensations that I was given was an overactive piriformis, underactive glute medius, and decreased dorsiflexion. With those compensations, I would expect to find knee varus or knee varus with the knees going out on an overhead squat assessment. How we would go about addressing this issue in the inhibitory phase, we'd want to release a couple things. The first thing being the piriformis, using a lacrosse ball, maybe even starting with a tennis ball if you're real tender in that area to begin with. Simply roll the piriformis. Slowly, as you find a tender spot, you want to stop and hold it for approximately 30 seconds to help release the piriformis. From there, to address the dorsiflexion, we could go into a arch, rolling of arch of the fascia in the foot. Once again, slowly rolling, finding tender spots and holding for 30 seconds over the tender spots. The next one that we would like to do is address the soleus and the gastrocnemius in the back of the leg. The first one I want to call a soleus ball smash in a half kneeling position, having your lacrosse ball, tennis ball, any other type roller that you can use. You want to address the soleus, which is on the back between the ankle and the gastroc, and you just simply want to roll it across there, looking for tender spots. Once we find a tender spot, hold for approximately 30 seconds. The next one, we want to release the gastroc, which is the big calf muscle. We would do that with the foam roller. Once again, slowly rolling across, feeling for tender spots, using just body weight. Once we find a tender spot, stop on the roller for approximately 30 seconds. For stretches, what we want to do is figure 4 stretch, which is a very tough stretch. Foot over, try to bring the leg that's under as close to your chest as you can. If you can't, you can stay in this position. If you're able to, you can bring your leg up more, pull your leg up. There again, that one would be held for approximately 30 seconds and do that a couple times. The next one that we would do is a tabletop figure 4. This also addresses the piriformis. Typically, you would rather want to do this on a treatment table or a higher table or a higher bench. I don't have that, so I'm simply using a FID bench with a box, pile box on it. Go into the figure 4 position and simply rock into the stretching the piriformis on the back side, on the posterior side. And again, holding this for 30 seconds and a total of 2 times for 30 seconds each. Next stretch would be to address the posterior calf, doing a soleus stretch and a gastroc stretch. To address the gastroc, we can do them standing. You ultimately want a little bit higher box or board than this to get a deeper stretch. We would hold that for 30 seconds. And again, doing 2 sets of 30 seconds for each leg. To isolate the soleus, you'd want to do that in a knee flexed position. I won't demonstrate that, but you would do that like on a seated bench. Same technique, foot raised. For the activation phase, for these compensations, we'd want to strengthen the glute max, or correction, the gluteus medius. The first exercise I'm going to demonstrate on that is simply called a ball squeeze. Laying on your back, knees flexed approximately 90 degrees, holding a medicine ball between your legs. Just simply squeeze in, activating the glute medius. We would do 2 sets of 10 reps with that exercise. The next exercise that we would do would be a clamshell. That is performed lying on your lateral side, knees bent, and just simply externally rotating the top hip. You could also do this banded between your knees to make it more difficult. We want to do 2 sets of 10 reps with this exercise. The next activation exercise we want to do, still addressing the glute max, would be a lateral toe touch. And that's just simply reaching out and touching and coming back in. Reaching out, coming back in. You could also do these banded as well. Okay, for the next phase, for the integration phase, the first exercise I chose was a banded squat using an exercise band draping around the knees. We want to pull from the outside in, because in various, the knees are going outward, so we want to resist and fire the glute med to bring the knee back in. So the band around the knee adds some resistance. It also cues us in that that's what we need to be pulling as our knee back in as we're squatting. So simply adjust the tension, probably in the 40 to 50% range initially, and then scoot out as you get stronger. Of course, my bench is moving on me. You would actually do this around a rack, something a little more heavier, but with the band around the knees, just simply performing a squat. Once again, that would be performed 2 sets of 10 reps. The next exercise is simply a lunge, concentrating on keeping the knee tracked over the second and the third toe. Two sets of 10 reps on each side, along with the banded squats you would do. You would turn around and put the band on the other side and do another set with them as well. To increase the difficulty, or to have a cue just like the squat, we can actually do a lunge with a banded as well. And it's the same way, just banded. The band cues you to bring your knee in and keep it tracked over straight. Once again, that would be performed 2 sets of 10 reps. And then the last one is a one leg balance reach and going around a clock face, like 12, 1, 2, 3, and around. Once again, that can be performed 2 sets, 2 sets on each side. One clock face is 1 set. Go to the other side and then back forth. 2 sets of that. That concludes the video for 6520.